Hello everyone, I'm Fernando and I'm here to demonstrate how to deploy an application via SCCM. So first of all, what is SCCM? So SCCM stands for System Center Configuration Manager. So it is software that is provided by Microsoft. So it allows us to manage and monitor groups of devices within a network. We can see this in an enterprise level. So this application allows us to configure operating systems, softwares and applications, policy definitions, licenses and security within the clients who are connected to the network or within the enterprise. So as I said before, this is mostly used in enterprise levels, and this SCCM is installed in a server which is basically known as SCCM server, and it also contains an Active Directory. So why do we need to use SCCM? So without SCCM, individual configuration, setup, and monitoring of each devices. So we have to, suppose we have hundreds of computers. We will have to go to each one of them and configure each one of them, such as installing the operating systems and the required drivers, softwares, and doing the security, adjusting the security policies and so on. So this is very inefficient and very more time consuming, and so this can take a number of days or even months to configure all these devices. So with SCCM installed, so all these devices will be what we call the client devices are configured or monitored by one single point, that is the CCM server via the CCM software. So and all the devices and the users in this network are managed by one single point, which is the Active Directory. So by this SCCM approach, it takes more or less 2 to 3 days to configure these. Suppose we have hundreds of devices. Since we are talking about application deployment, there are 3 main steps to deploy an application via SCCM. So first we have to create an application by importing the necessary files to SCCM. Then we have to the next step is to distribute the content. This is done via distributing it to a distribution point so that the clients can request and download and install softwares via it. And the next and the final step is to deploy the application to the distribution points. And next I'll show how we can do this via the CCM. So currently I have logged into my SCCM server and started up the SCCM application. So here you can see this is the main dashboard of the SCCM. So since we are going to deploy an application, we have to navigate to the software library, and here you can see there are different types of software that we can deploy. So since we are going to deploy basic general software, we have to go to application management and applications, and this will show the applications that I have already loaded into SCCM. Since I'll be importing a new application, I'll be right clicking applications and create application. So this opens up the create application wizard. So we want to first select the type of the installation file. So since it's Windows installation file, I'll select MSI, and then we have to browse the Windows installer of the file that we are going to install. So I'll be installing Node.js, so I'll be selecting this node setup and load it in, and click next. So now the application is successfully imported into the CCM, so it shows success icon, and we can click next. So in this screen we need to give general basic information about the application that we are going to install. So we can give something like the version is 20.00, and what else, we can give, since the 64-bit, we will just adjust the name, and that's all. Then this shows us the installation program. This is the command that will run on the client machine in order to install the application. We can add some other attributes to like change the way our application is installed. So this checkbox, we can check if this is an 32-bit application that we want to run on 64-bit clients. Since our client is already 64 and the application that we are going to install is also 64-bit, we don't need to tick this. And then we can select the install behavior. So we can either install it for user or install it for system. So I have selected to install it for the whole system, and then we can click next. So this gives us the summary of what we have configured so far to create an application, and then we can confirm these and click next, and here it will create the application, and this will take a few seconds. So as you can see, the application was successfully created, and now we can close this window. So in the list, now we can see our Node.js application is created here. So now we are at the second step of the deployment. So now we can select the application and right click on it, and then we can select distribute content. So this will open up the distribute content wizard, and we can keep these as it is, and click next. Then we have to review the content to distribute, so it's Node.js, and we can click next. Then we have to select the content destination. So this will actually be the distribution point. So we have to distribute the content to the distribution point, so the clients can access this and download their Node.js application. So we can click add and pick distribution points, and then select our distribution point. In my case, it's my local domain. Click OK. Once it's added, we can click next, and now it shows the summary of creating a distributing content. So we can confirm these and click next. So this will run the distribution content wizard, and once it's successful, we can close it. So now we are in the last step. So it is the deployment of the application. So once again, we right click the Node.js application, and now this time we click on deploy. So this opens up the deployment software wizard, and now we can see the software that we are going to deploy is Node.js. So, and then we have to select the collection of devices that we are going to deploy the Node.js into. So we can go to browse, and we are not deploying this for users, so we create devices, and here I can see all my collections of devices. So currently my client devices are in this co-management eligible devices collection, so I select it and click OK. So once I select my collection, keep these as default, automatically distribute content for dependencies, and we can either give any comments to it, and then we click next. So we have already specified the content destination, so we don't need to add it again. So we can click on next. So the next step, what we want to do with this application or via deployment. So we want to install it. So we have the option of uninstalling the application as well. So, and then we have the purpose. So we have two options for the purpose. One is available, one is required. So available softwares, the user has their own choice to install it or not. And the required type, the user should install this software to continue. Also, there's an option to allow end users to attempt to repair this application. So I won't be needing this at the moment. Click next. Next, we can schedule the deployment. We can give a specific time for this deployment to happen. Since we need to deploy this immediately, we would not set time. So click next, and then we want to show how the user can see that there's an application to be deployed. So we can display it in Software Center and show notifications for computer restarts. Instead, we'll select show it at all notifications. Then that's it here, and we can click on next. So in this section we can enable alerts in case of successful deployments, or when it's in maintenance mode, or if there are any failed deployments. We will not be doing anything here. Keep it as default and click on next. So now this screen gives a summary of the deployment settings we have configured up to now, and we can confirm those and click next. Here it will be deploying the application. Give it a few seconds. So now the application is successfully deployed, and now we can click close. So we can check the status of the deployment by clicking the content status. So now we can see completion statistics. We can see that it's successfully deployed. So next we have to confirm whether we can log into a client machine and install the software that we just deployed. So in order to do that, we have to log in to the client machine. So I am logging into my client machine and then search for Software Center. So this is the application which shows us whether there are softwares that need to be installed or updated. So this manages all the softwares that we have installed in our computer. So now I have opened the Software Center. So in the applications, it should show the available applications that we can install. So currently I cannot see the new application that I just deployed. So this happens due to it has a time frame that it checks whether there are any updates from the server or not. So for now, since we need the installation immediately, we can run the process immediately. So we can go to Windows Run command and go to Control SMSCF GRC. So this opens up the configuration manager properties. So in here we can go to actions, then machine policy retrieval and evaluation cycle, and we can click run now and click OK. Then next go to the application development evaluation cycle and click run now. Okay. Now give it a few seconds to load the application on the Software Center. So now we can see the new application is displayed in the Software Center. We can click on this and click install. So now we can see the Node.js application is installed. So we can confirm this as well. So here I can see that Node.js is installed here. So we can confirm it via the command prompt as well. So when you run the command, we can see that Node.js version 21.0.0 is installed. That's the one we deployed earlier. So this is it, guys. Thank you.